GingerGM. Hello everyone, and hello, welcome to Tuesday. Yeah, got there. And it's hot. It was hot yesterday, but I think it's like, I don't know, 32 degrees, and I'm stuck in an office dripping. So I'm going to lose a lot of weight. That's not a good thing, but it's not tears of pain, which you may see come out of my eyes. It's actually sweat. So anyway, it should be a fun little stream. We're only going to do an hour or so. I just recorded a YouTube video, which I'm going to put up on my channel, but it's going to go up tomorrow morning. Now that is a good YouTube video. That one is one of the better ones. So make sure you check out my YouTube videos tomorrow. That's a good one. Yeah. Hey Aldo, it's been a while, mate. Good to hear from you, sir. Hope you're doing all right. It's Tuesday today, isn't it? Is that Battersea thing still going on? Maybe it is. Well, you know, could be cool. So yes, so yeah, well, hello Aldo, I hope you're doing all right. It'd be nice to catch up at some point, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or something. So what we're going to do today is play a long play game. So I did a bit of Blitz yesterday, and well, Bledel, or okay Bledel, who in the chat is Ben C. Leskov. I'm sorry, Bledel, crushed me in Blitz yesterday. So I would like to try to get some revenge against him, but instead of that, we're going to play a long play game. And I've got my friend Bjorn, who you may have seen I've done lessons with before, and we're going to play a long play game where I explain my thoughts, and hopefully you guys can learn something from the game. So we're going to set that up in a second, so it might take 5 minutes to get something set up. And Bjorn actually says he's got his heart rate. Is that right? He's got his heart rate. Let me just see what he's got set up. I'm interested to this because I've always wanted to get my heart rate set up, but I haven't got around to doing it. So we will see. Okay, well let's just, while I set this up, let's see if we can get Bjorn onto the show, shall we? I think so. So okay, let me just work this out. Shall I join the link? Let's see if Bjorn's there. Okay, so God, so hot, man. I need to get one of those Dyson fans in here, you know, just blowing in my face. Yes, okay, so let's see if we can get Bjorn set up, and then I'll try to see if we can work out so you can see him, etc. Well, let's do it. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So I'm just trying to get things set up here. Join. Okay, yes, I'm trying to join. Connecting. Okay. Right. Wow. Okay. So we can actually get Bjorn's heart rate. This is going to be quite cool. Okay. So I'm just going to move my camera over so we can fit Bjorn into the screen. Hello, Bjorn. Can you hear me? Hello, Bjorn. Can you hear me? Bjorn.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, cool. So I guess what I'm doing here, I'm taking your heart rate reading here, yeah? And
yeah. I was
cool. I like this.
Playing around with it, but yeah, it should work, right?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, Bjorn, because I wanted to do this a while back, and you'll have to tell me after the stream. Yeah, I think my heart rate's going to be worryingly high, you know. But you have to tell me after the stream how to set up my my heart rate, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So that'd be quite cool. Okay, right. So let me just move this around so we can get Bjorn's heart rate rocking and rolling. We'll try to I just set this up. So guys, we will get cracking soon with some actual chess.
I'm trying to kind of meditate now to get it down so it doesn't look
too bad.
Get it under 70, but yeah, a little bit stressed it seems.
a little bit stressed from being on the show. By the way, can everyone at home hear Bjorn? Can you all hear? Do I have to join you in a Skype call as well to get your video?
Yeah, I think I was setting up this just to do the heart rate, and I think the Skype is better for us talking to get video as well. Okay,
cool. So if I give you a Skype call now, and I'll turn the mic off on this, shall I? Maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's do that. So I'll give you a Skype call now. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So this is quite exciting. So we're actually getting Bjorn's heart rate up. So my plan today is to try to get Bjorn's heart rate to as high as possible. I want him to get to heart attack level. Sorry, Bjorn. I obviously don't want him to have a heart attack, but we want to get him to a level where he's clearly going to be freaking out. I haven't got my heart rate ready, but we will try to get Bjorn's ready. So let me just give him a call on Skype now, and we'll try to get this set up. Okay. Hey, Bjorn.
Hey.
Hello. I can see you. Good stuff. So let me just see if I can find. Let me get this all set up correctly.
Awesome. And
we'll try to hopefully get this rocking and rolling. So where's your video gone? I still hate Skype.
Yeah,
absolutely hate Skype. Skype is a disgusting piece of technology. But anyway, I won't talk about that too much. So what we're going to do today, guys, I'm just going to get set up Bjorn so you can see Bjorn. Now, when we actually play the game, I'm going to I'm going to mute Bjorn. Oh, why is it doing this? Okay, let me try this again. So you won't be able to hear him, and he won't be able to hear me, and he won't be able to hear the stream. I'm going to play a game against Bjorn. Bjorn, what would you say your rating is for other people who don't know you?
It's about 1700, I guess. 1650, 1700, around there. Yeah.
Okay. You might need to mute yourself on the video thing. It sounds like we're getting a bit of feedback, potentially.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see.
And I'm just trying to get Skype to work, which is not so easy, but okay.
Mic off.
I can just hear a bit of feedback. We'll check with everyone at some point. Okay.
Is there still feedback?
No, that sounds a lot better to me.
Okay, excellent.
And people in the chat can probably tell us. And I love the way Bjorn's gone professional with his green screen. Oh, look at that. We're both in Iceland now, Bjorn. So
awesome.
How do we like that? Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
That is pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so Bjorn's heart rate is above him.
I heard what you said about my heart rate, but the thing is, my heart rate goes up if I feel like I have a chance of beating you. If I'm just losing, then my heart rate is just gonna drop.
Okay.
So if you want to try to get my heart rate up, you need to give me some chances then.
Okay. Well, don't worry. I'm sure I will give you chances, knowing my chess playing ability. And I like Sander Diesel's comment. Finally, a good-looking guy in the stream.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
cheers.
That was
bastard. so Bjorn.
Quite presumptuous of me, but.
Sorry.
Quite presumptuous of me of saying thank you right away. I assumed
I think he's talking about me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with your new haircut, yeah, it could be you.
Well, I don't know. That's probably, you know, a bit of a mohawk going on. Yeah. So a bit different. Okay, but I'll explain to everyone what we're going to do. Oh, we have Fiona in the chat as well.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello,
it's been
Fiona.
a while.
It's been a while. I think I got a message off Fiona. I was supposed to be doing a bit of work with her. I'm going to embarrass her now. And we're supposed to be recording a little video today because, excitingly, Fiona's got a course for GingerGM that should be coming out very soon. And I think I got a message from Fiona, I don't know, quite late last night saying, look, I might not be able to meet our arranged time because I had a late night. So but now she's here anyway. So what's going on, Fiona? And by the way, I think your phone's done some messenger.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, we're
yeah,
back
should be
now.
back. Yeah.
But anyway, it'd be good to get Fiona, and we have Exhibit as well. We got all the cool people. We've got all the cool people around today, Bjorn. Do you know Zibit? Zibit in the chat. Do you know this guy, Zibit Ingvar
Quack,
from
quack.
Iceland? Sorry, quack quack.
Quack quack. Isn't that Sibit?
Is that does he quack like a duck?
Well, he did when I met him in the crypt. I think that's the guy, the Icelandic guy.
The Icelandic guy. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Great guy.
He is. He's one of the nicest guys around. And I was wondering what you're doing there, Bjorn. I thought you just had a little breakdown and started quacking or something. Quack, 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 quack. But no, just so Zibit. If you haven't seen Zibit,
it might have been just a thing he did that day. I just assumed it was his kind of his thing.
Calling card.
Yeah.
Well, Zibit. I mean, I think I haven't met anyone from Iceland who's totally normal. So, you know, I think everyone in Iceland's a bit insane. I don't know. I mean, I think Norwegians are probably a bit more sane than Icelanders. Is that true? Or...
Well, I think basically Iceland is filled up with eccentric Norwegians, Vikings that went away. So I guess that could explain why. So
what you're saying basically? All the people who are got kicked out of Norway, so all those mentally insane people and all the criminals got kicked out of Norway and they got thrown into Iceland.
It's Norway's Australia.
Norway and Australia. Okay, so there we go. This is good. I'm learning a bit of history as we go along. Yeah. You know, all the crazy Norwegians got kicked out of there, and we kicked everyone. England kicked everyone out to Australia, didn't they? So and stuff, which is pretty insane. Okay, so what have we got? A nice.
I guess I should say I absolutely love Iceland and Icelandic people, just so Sibit doesn't take any offense to that. But
yes, I do as well. I mean, I really get on with the Scandinavian countries very well, and I love going to Iceland, and hopefully I'll be going to Norway soon as well. So yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, and just exciting news as well, Bjorn. I've been chatting to Aldo, who's in the chat. You might remember Aldo from the crypt, who did all the lights and was a massive help. And he's in charge now of finding a date for the crypt part 2. Bjorn, awesome. Can you believe it? So there might be a part 2. Finally, yeah. It's one of those events that only happens every 3 years or so because it's so bloody awesome.
Exactly.
You need about 3 years to recover in between events. But he's actually finding another date for the crypt again, so it's going to happen. And I know when Aldo's on the case, he gets stuff done. So good stuff. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to play a long play game. So we're not going to play a rated game because look, have you seen my sexy rating, Bjorn?
Oh, really? Wow.
And
congratulations.
If you want to see, it's not bad. If you want to see how that happened, check out the YouTube videos going up tomorrow. I'm just doing my little cool sit down there.
Yeah.
Trying to be cool. I'm not actually cool at all, but there you go. So let's play it unrated, Bjorn. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we're going to pick the time limit. And what's your handle, Bjorn? I've forgotten your handle.
It's YayBjorn.
Oh, YayBjorn. Okay, so we're going to set this up. Let me just change my settings. So we are all unrated and stuff like that. And the idea of this, some of you might have seen this before, is I'm going to play Bjorn at a bit of a longer time limit. You're going to be able to see Bjorn but not hear anything for Bjorn. I won't be able to hear Bjorn. Bjorn won't be able to hear me and won't be able to hear the stream. Bjorn is about 16 to 1800 rating, would you say, Bjorn?
Approximately, yeah.
so maybe similar to a lot of people in the chat. And,
yeah, I would assume so, yeah.
And what we're going to do is I'm going to explain my thoughts of how a Grandmaster thinks during the course of the game. And then after the game, we're going to get Bjorn on and quickly ask him about his thoughts. And we better get started soon, because I know we're both a bit rushed for time. And that's more my fault for talking so much. So okay, so we're going to go to custom challenges and YayBjorn. And we're going to go, oh, you got 1839. Bjorn, you're going up in the world, I see. You know?
1839? Oh, it's my blitz rating, probably.
Blitz rating. We'll go unrated. Okay. And, okay. Joining stream to keep support for YayBjorn going. Sorry, Simon. Is that your girlfriend? In the chat.
Who was that?
I don't know. Someone at Testa Rosa. Joining stream to keep... You've got your own supporters. You've got your own gang.
Oh, yeah. Somebody shared that. Well, I shared a link on Stjärn, my chess club in Oslo. So
okay, cool.
There might be some fans there,
yeah. Good. Well, it's always nice. You know who's just challenged me at Blitz as well? Ne4 Nxe4 has challenged me at Blitz.
Oh, really?
Oh my god! But Ne4, I'm sorry, mate. Bjorn is more important than you future world champion. So, I mean, Ne4 Nxe4, if you don't know him, is a lovely kid from India. And but okay, maybe another time. Okay, Bjorn. So shall we get it on?
Let's do it.
Okay. So as soon as we start playing, I will we'll mute each other, and everyone can see Bjorn, and they can see his heart rate above him. So it's something a little bit different. And I challenge you now, Bjorn. So I'll put you on mute now, and I'll get you on afterwards. Okay?
Oh yes, I'm white.
Okay. Well, hopefully Bjorn is muted. And okay, so Bjorn has gone for D4, and I'm going to go for. Well, I think I know what Bjorn's going to play. He's going to play Knight to C3. He's going to. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, I'm thinking about Bjorn's openings, and he's got some music on. That's quite cheeky. He's put some music on. So to get him out of his comfort zone, I'm going to go, because he's going to do the Jabava London system. Now I could do the Dutch, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get him out of his comfort zone and go for a little bit of a weird opening. Yeah, Plocrux, you got it right. Just to try to stop him playing his normal moves. Okay, so now he's in a position he might not be as comfortable with, but his heart rate 69. Okay, so this is an interesting opening. Can you hear me, Bjorn? I hope you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Does that look like a man who can hear me? Can you hear me? You shouldn't be able to hear me. Mute. Ah, okay. So I can hear you, Bjorn. That's weird. I can hear you playing with your nose now. I can hear Bjorn playing with his nose. So can he hear me? No, maybe not. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to play. I think I'm just going to wait for E6 and play G6. So we're going to basically go for like Bishop G7, D6, and of course Paul Benko died yesterday. Paul Benko, sorry, a legend of the Benko. Sad to see him pass away, but he had a very long life. Now, why can I still hear Bjorn? Why can I hear Bjorn? I hope he can't hear me. Bjorn, can you hear me? Can he hear me? Is he faking it? That's what I'm wondering. But anyway, okay. So we got him out of his comfort zone. Okay, so he's now gone C4. So what I've done here, I think I've got Bjorn into an opening he doesn't know so well. A lot of the fight in chess is getting comfortable opening. And I'm going to continue by fianchettoing this bishop. This bishop gets a very good diagonal. And I could have gone for the Benko with B5, which maybe I should have done after Benko passed away. But I think the setup I prefer, and again, I want to go, there's two ways you can play this kind of position. Well, there's three ways. You can even take here, which was a favourite of Grandmaster David Norwood. But I like this bishop too much to give it away. What I'm actually going to do here is, well, I could go for an idea with B5, but I prefer playing with a Benoni. So I like going E6 because the Benoni is a very tactical opening. You guys, some of you might be very interested in learning about it. It's been played by Bobby Fischer, used it famously to beat Spassky. I'll take my headphones off, I don't need them anymore. And they're bloody hot. And it's a very interesting opening. But it's very tactical. I don't think it's a very sound opening because white has a lot of space here. But it gets very tactical, as hopefully we're going to see. And my next idea here is, first of all, just get the king safe. And then I have to break out because I'm very cramped at the moment. You can see my position is extremely cramped here. White has this big pawn chain. So what I need to do is at some point try to break out. When you have a cramped position, you should always look at ways to break out. So what moves you've got to break out, you need pawn breaks, and one of the moves I'm going to try to achieve is this move e6. Hello, Captain Bunratty. Hello, good to be back. Thank you for joining the stream. And so let's castle first. Now, whenever your opponent plays a move, you should always think, why did they play that move as well? And this move is quite clever because maybe Bjorn is trying to act against me playing this pawn forwards, probably to the square, which I told you is my idea. So can he hear me? That is the question. I hope not. Take your headphones off, Bjorn. Touch your headphones if you can hear me. Can he hear me? I don't think he can hear me. I don't know why he's got his headphones on though. Has he got his headphones on? Bjorn. Okay, anyway. So what I'm going to do, well, I'm going to castle anyway, because obviously I want to castle. Because if I go e6, he's going to take on d6. Now you can still do this and play it like a pawn sacrifice, which I might do, because I've got the queen coming over here. And when this pawn moves, I get two squares of my pieces, c6 and e6. So it might be worth giving up a pawn, especially when my opponent has is so far behind on development. Okay, thanks for explaining that to me, Plocrux. I probably should have worked that out. Okay, so Bjorn is going for a very aggressive idea of moving his bishop to h6. This generally doesn't work so well in these positions. Now, how do I counter that? Well, I either let him play this idea and try to fight in the center. My two pawn breaks are either e6 or sometimes this move b5. The other thing I can do is prepare for this one and try to keep my bishop here. So how do I do that? Well, I can do that by moving my rook, and when bishop h6 happens, moving my bishop back to h8, because then he can't take my rook on f8, so I don't lose an exchange. So what idea will I go for? So I'm thinking either e6, I'm thinking b5, Benko would be proud of me, or rook e8, because the rook is good on e8 because it'd be lined up against the king. So I think I'm going to go rook e8 because this is one of the best pieces in the Benko. This bishop is a lovely piece striking across the board. And if bishop h6, I just drop my bishop back here. Now, if Bjorn castles queenside, which he might be planning to do and try to mate me with Harry, it's going to be very exciting, this game, I feel. Then I'm going to have to go for b5, something like this. But my main idea here is, of course, to play e6 and open things up here. And the other pawn sacrifice, as we're going to see, maybe is b5. And this is very Benko styly in honor of the great person who passed away yesterday. If pawn takes pawn, we go a6. And if pawn takes that pawn, I can capture this over here. And I get these open lines on the queen side to attack along. So we could go for that. How's Bjorn's heart rate? 83. So he started about 69. What will Bjorn, what heart rate will he peak at, I wonder? We have to do some bets, I think, guys, in future. I'll get my heart rate up, which will be a lot higher than his, I'm sure. I don't know, I have to check what my heart rate is, first of all. And maybe we compare heart rates as we go along. Could be interesting. 120 resting heart rate. I think that could be close, Captain Bunratty. Probably is about 120 rested. So I don't know. Well, Bjorn's, I think 78 is quite normal. I think someone was telling me it's not how high your heart rate is. Obviously 120 would be a bit high, but it's how quickly it comes down after exercise. So, you know, how quickly your heart rate can stabilize to its resting rate. If it takes like 10 minutes, you're obviously unhealthy. But if it takes, 10 seconds, you're obviously very healthy. Probably what Benko? People are talking about Benko. Well, did he last to 91? He had a very good life, didn't he? Okay, he passed away, but if you can live a life into your 90s and do so many great things as have an opening named after you, create amazing problems, be a fantastic chess player, have a family, I don't think you could be too sad if someone passes away at that age, can you? Obviously you might be, but I don't think you can be. 91. Okay, he was 91, maybe 92. Okay, thanks. Okay, so Bjorn has gone bishop e2, and now that's a flexible move because he now might be keeping options of castling kingside, and he might be keeping options of pushing Harry when the bishop defends that. So I'm now going to do something aggressive. So I'm either going to go e6 or b5. I want to play one of these moves. So I like e6 because my rook is here. So let's just calculate what happens if he takes. Bishop takes, then he takes on d6. If he goes queen takes, I'll go queen a5 with some pressure over there. I like the look at that. If he goes bishop takes, I will just go knight c6, and I think I'm going to get very good activity there. The other pawn sack I can do is b5. If he takes with his knight, I go knight takes e4. So b5 pawn takes, and then play like the Benko with a6, which is also very tempting. Another pawn sacrifice line, but that line might not be so good because if he ever takes here, I prefer e6. So this is the idea in the Benoni to play this line. I don't think b5 was so bad, Aldo. Maybe it was. Maybe, I mean, it's kind of a normalish idea, isn't it? I think, but obviously, with my rook on e8, I think this move e6 makes a lot more sense. And I know from experience that white taking on d6 is possible, but I've seen many games, and I remember Danny Gormali played this similar idea as black against me when I put a bishop on f4. And I know generally that black will get good compensation, because if I get all my minor pieces out, then I'm going to have very good piece play. So Bjorn is just playing very sensible developing moves. And now I'm going to take on this square because I want to activate my rook and pressurize the pawn on e4. So we're going to go for this line. Okay. And guys, please keep the swearing down, otherwise I might have to block you, because we might be on chess.com today. And one thing I haven't done is mute the swearing up there. So just try to keep it down if you can for me, people. I know I sometimes do, but as we're on chess.com and there might be kids watching, we just try to keep it, you know, I don't want to ban you if you're just for swearing, if we can help it. Okay, now, the main idea you do in this equal pawn structure is, one idea is to put the knight on this square. This is a very normal idea. I'm guessing this move now, pawn takes, a6, castles, is not so good. The other thing I can do is go a6 and prepare it. I could also go bishop f5 and prepare this one even more. So knight here takes, rook takes, looks quite normal. Another idea is to try to get control of this square. So you can try to go bishop g4 and eventually get a knight to this square. So because I want to develop these last two pieces. Another thing you do is knight a6 and then put the knight on c7, because the knight on c7 supports b5. So there's many ideas to do in these openings. And one thing I will tell you guys is, it's so important when you're playing chess, when you're playing an opening, to know the ideas. This is so I've just got to think which one I like the look of here. Kind of like this idea, but after knight, I also like the idea of developing these guys. So what am I going to go for? Do I like this one and taking here? Not so much. Do I like the idea of moving my bishop? I want to get this knight into the game, really. But if I do go here, he's just going to take this pawn. Maybe I'll go a6 first, because I think this is a useful move, because I might be aiming to play b5 and sack a pawn. But I also like the idea of stopping this move, so I can play something. Maybe I think I should have gone b. Why don't I go, well, b5 now might be playable. Okay, so castles. Now I want to develop my pieces, so I was thinking about putting my queen here and my knight here, but I'm not an expert in this opening, so you know, it's potentially I'm not finding the right places to put my pieces. Now, if I go bishop here, I'm going to go for bishop to this square. I don't think I'm going to dive in straight away, but my idea with this move is I don't, you know, I want to get these guys out. I like having personally full development before continuing, and with this idea, I'm going to try to put my queen on c7 to defend this. I don't get hit by knight b5, and then I'm going to try to go knight d7, and then I'm going to try to maybe take here and get a knight to e5, and then all my pieces are developed. So this is a normal plan. Sometimes your bishops are, you know, they're worse pieces than your opponent's knight, and in this case I'm certainly going to take that one off, and I think I will continue with my plan of queen c7, because I couldn't go knight there straight away because this pawn is weak, but now I want to get my knight into this square and maybe at some point prepare this move b5. But it's an equal, I'd say this is a pretty equal position, and Bjorn, for someone who hasn't played the opening, doesn't know the opening, has played it well. A6 is not a move in the Benoni. Well, it often is the Fuchsier. Hello, Fuchsier. Because you often prepare this move in a lot of cases. Now, that's a safety first move, just stopping b5, and I'll continue with my plan. So now I've got full development. Knight to d7. Just catching up with the chat as well, guys. So how is Bjorn's heart rate? Well, it hasn't really, we haven't got Bjorn to 90 level yet. And Bjorn said if he ever thinks he's doing very well in the game, his heart rate will increase. So we're waiting for that. But I think Bjorn's played this very well. Maybe I haven't played this very well, is more more to the point. Because now if I go here, he will take and he gets this pawn. So what actually am I doing? I think I should have put my queen. Yeah, I mean, I clearly haven't got much experience in these lines, and I haven't played it as well as I should have played it. So I'm thinking of doing mass exchanges going into an ending, but that's not very exciting, is it? I want to move this knight as well, so my bishop controls this square, but I've got nowhere good to put this knight. Fischer played knight h5 against Spassky in some position, but I don't think that's going to work very well here. And the reason I want to move this knight is just so I can get this square, but I've got nowhere to move this knight, so I need to find some good pieces for my square. Oh, is Bjorn getting excited? He's gone up heart rate wise. Well, I'm thinking about this and this, but that looks really funny because my knight on is very bad, but I really want to get a knight to this square. So how do we do this? How do we try and do this idea? Not so easy. Do I have to go bishop f8 to give this some extra protection? Looks a little bit artificial. Yeah, I think you might be right there. Someone said the queen belongs on this square. It often does come to f8, and I'm wondering now if that's a better way to play. The problem is if I go knight e5 in these positions, Bjorn will just take my knight off, and then he will play d6, and that looks terrible for me. Terrible. I don't like that idea at all. So I'm actually going to play bishop here, which is not a move I really want to play. It's very passive, but for two reasons. And one reason is that maybe my queen can sort of come and activate, and I don't have to defend this one anymore. And another idea is if I do play knight to e5 now, then after an exchange pawn takes, my bishop can stop Bjorn playing the move d6, or at least it puts Bjorn off playing the move d6. So that's why I've moved the bishop to this square, just to control the d pawn. But okay, Bjorn's playing very well. He's playing very good. It'd be interesting to see this you know, the computer's assessment afterwards. I mean, I could have, I see a lot of people discussing the pros and cons of the move a6. I think in the circumstances it was a good move because I had to stop knight to here. But I mean, okay, now I'm quite happy to see this move. Now, why am I quite happy? Because the reason I'm quite happy is because when you've got a more cramped position, I'm more cramped because white has this pawn. I want to exchange pieces because I haven't got as many squares to exchange. So exchanges pieces actually helps me, and Bjorn, by playing his knight there, I think that was very premature, and that was a typical, dare I say it, slight mistake. And I don't want to be rude, but from a player who's slightly lower rated, because he should have realized with my last move, bishop f8, I didn't really have a very good plan. Meaning that if your opponent plays something very passive, you don't have to rush. You can take your time. And I think what Bjorn has done here by exchanging, he's given me what I want. I mean, he is still in equal position, but we can see now I can get my knight here, my rook has got the open file, and my bishop can even come back here. So I think trying to force the play in the position is a typical mistake that lower rated players often do. Don't try to force the position. Always keep an eye out for what your opponent's aiming to do. If he's not doing anything, take your time. And now, well, my bishop's done its job here, so I'm going to put it back on this diagonal. I'm just going to put it back here because I can now try to get, it to one of these two squares. What I want to do, and another thing you should be thinking of in these kind of positions, is what minor pieces do I want to exchange? What minor pieces do I want to leave my opponent with? Now, ideally, think about that now. If you could leave one pair of pieces each, so I have one bishop, Bjorn has one bishop, or I have one rook and Bjorn has one rook, what two pieces, one of my own and one of Bjorn's, would I ideally want to be left with in the ending? And this is what I'm going to try to arrange. So have a think about that now. I'd be interested to see what you type down. Which pieces do I want to be left with? So, for example, we've only got one piece each. What two pieces do I want to get? What two pieces? Knight, yes, perfect. Plocrux has got it in one. I want to be left with my knight versus this bishop. If I can swap off everything and be left with these two pieces, I think the ending's nearly winning. Why? Because I spoke about this many times. Bjorn's got all his pawns on light squares. If you saw my YouTube video yesterday, it's very similar to that. These pawns could become extremely weak later on, but it's quite hard to obviously do that in this position. Now I could tempt him with some move like this to exchange off more pieces. Maybe I will do that, or do I want to put my knight there? This is the other thing I could do. I could block things up over here because I don't want him opening lines because he's got the bishops, but I think I want to be doing something in the central here. So knight here doesn't achieve anything, doesn't do anything. Knight here, his bishop moves. I think I'm going to go for this move because, as I said, I want to be left with this bishop versus this knight. But I've actually just realized now I have to be a little bit careful of some pins here. I think I'm okay because my queen can always come back around, so I don't really worry too much about this. But I want to be left with this knight versus this bishop. Oh, no, what are you doing? Don't cancel that move. No things like that. So, because the reason, yeah, okay, so he swapped off. So normally this exchange could be quite good for him. But in this circumstance, I think I'm going to keep my knight here because the open file is more important. I want to move my queen around and I want to get to this ending because these pawns are going to be so bad in the ending. His bishop will never be able to attack my pawns because it's on the wrong color square, so he can never get to my pawns, and my knight will be able to jump around and hopefully attack these pawns. I mean, it's only slightly better for me, but it'd be a very, you just got, and again, this just demonstrates when you're playing, you really need to think, what pieces are you trying to exchange off the board and why? Oh, he's gone to 100. Wow, 103. Does that mean Bjorn thinks he's got a good position here? Have I missed something? Okay, so he's going for more exchanges, which is good. This is what I want. And another good thing is that the queen and knight combine extremely well together. At the moment, my queen is very badly placed. I want to get my queen to a more central square. Look at his face. What's going on there? He's gone over 100. Is he okay? Call the doctors, people. So I'm just going to move my queen back to here so I can try to centralize it. And this bishop is a very, very bad piece. Edge of a gym. Yeah, it's a bit, yeah, you're right, King Bert. You've summed it up. If you saw my last YouTube video on the British Championships, I talked about my opponent's pawns, which are on the same structure as this, and how, if you have a light square bishop with pawns like this, it's really bad. So this is a very important positional lesson. Now, other things I should be considering, what pawn breaks does Bjorn have? Well, unfortunately for Bjorn, if Bjorn ever plays the move B4, which is his only pawn break, I will take that pawn off, and then my knight comes to c5. Imagine that. My knight on this square. It can never be captured. It defends all my pawns. It attacks my opponent's pawns. That would be really bad for Bjorn. So in actual fact, positionally speaking, I think this is quite bad for Bjorn. Okay, his heart rate's come back down again now. His heart rate's all over the shop. How is your heart rate, Simon? I've never tested my heart rate. I'm too scared. Probably terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now, I'm thinking, do I want to play this move? I probably don't, because in the ending, I might want my king to come through this way. It gives me more options in the ending. But what I want to do is get this queen somewhere. Now, I could try to even get it to b4. Is Bjorn maybe going to go f5? That's a little bit annoying because my knight's quite well placed there. I mean, I could play g5, but I don't like that so much. I could try to now activate my queen. I think activating my queen makes more sense. Either this way or this way. Which way is better? Well, maybe I try to get it to d4. That looks like a good plan. Get it to d4. So let's go queen f6 and try to get it to d4, where I could even go for a queen exchange there. My queen has potential to come back around. But look at Bjorn's very bad bishop. This is it, you know, this is the thing. I'm not really sure about queen 8. Queen h4 was maybe better, actually, Aldo, but I was worried about f4 there. And then my queen can't get across. If Bjorn plays f4 now, I'm going to go knight d7, and I might go queen d4 if I can get my pawn to a5. Queen takes queen, pawn takes, then get my knight here. If you can imagine that, that's something I'm aiming for. Knight here, pawn here, and pawn here. And I think that would be a winning position for me, because his king will never be able to enter to any of these three squares, and I could use my king to come in very slowly like this. So I'm already thinking about these endgame concepts as we go. Okay, another thing, I don't know about this move, but I'm thinking about g5 to stop f4. The only thing about that, I don't really want to improve the length of his bishop, and his bishop gets longer then. Okay, so he's gone for the most aggressive move, as expected. I'm going to move my knight backwards. Maybe he should now go bishop here. This would be a very clever move, which I maybe shouldn't have allowed. But I can then go check and go f5, luckily. And I shut, because he'd love to swap his bishop for my knight. If he can do that, the position is equal. Okay, so now I can think about this ending. Now, the only problem about playing my queen here, which I can foresee, is that after queen takes, pawn takes, Bjorn can play b4. But in that position, I can play b6, and then I can try to play a5. If he plays a5, I take, and I bring my knight to this square. But how do I win that position? Not easily. So I don't think I'm going to rush this. Queen d4 is an idea. I want to stop Bjorn's main idea. Of course, always look at his main idea. Queen d4 is very interesting, but you know, if you're not sure whether it's a good move or not, just improve your position. And king f8 is going to improve my position because my king is getting nearer. You know, if the queens come off the board, then this is a winning idea in often. Okay, so now he's found the right idea. And if I go check and f5, is he going to go queen here? Should I have allowed this? This is a good idea of Bjorn's. Maybe I shouldn't have. So queen check, king here, f5 I thought I could play, but then queen to this square. And that is annoying because I can't hold my position together. So I'm going to have to, if I want to try winning this one, play this knight around to a much worse square. So king here was maybe a mistake. Very good move from Bjorn. He realizes he has to get rid of his bishop. So I can go here, then a8, then c7, but I need to keep my knight. So I'm going to keep my knight now. So I'm going to go here, and he can't get in anywhere down here, and my knight can always come back here, and then later on I can bring it back into the game. Because again, I have to watch a little bit out for this. I've just realized. Have I really misplayed this very badly? Oh Jesus, I didn't realize. Here, knight here, and then bishop c8. Totally forgot about this plan. This is really, really bad. I mean, okay, I can take this pawn, And then I'm improving his bishop. Okay, it's still all right for me, but I didn't really want to change any pawns off, and I've allowed him the opportunity to come bishop c8. So this is quite slack play, and he's gone bishop c8. So Bjorn's playing very, very good. Okay, so but I'm still not too worried about this at the moment. I think I will take this pawn. He takes here, and then I have to go knight c7. But I didn't really want this, guys. This is not what I wanted. So he has played well, but we're going to go for this anyway. So I'll grab this pawn. Hope my king is okay. But I shouldn't have allowed this. I mean, it was a bit, yeah. So Bjorn has played excellently. So well done to Bjorn, who has played the right ideas. He's trying to get rid of his bishop for my knight, and now he's got his bishop to a much better square, which in some ways could be controlling my knight. So I think I should have taken the opportunity to go queen d4. I should have gone queen d4 and tried to exchange that one off, because another thing I have to watch out for in these positions is some ideas of f5. So if he goes, I mean, I'm quite worried about f5, and his queen comes into the position now. So this would be quite scary. Okay, so he's played this, and that is, I'm glad he played that one. f5 was much more scary, because now, again, if I can get the queens off, I'm okay. This is not a threat. My knight defends it, so I need to get my queen back in, and I want to stop this move, or maybe not stop it, but at least have my queen on this diagonal. So I'm going to play my queen here, so it can come back along here. And also now a5 is a move I might want to play. So I'm feeling a bit better again. I think f5 was the move Bjorn should have tried there. Don't know if it was good or not. If he plays f5 now, what is this ending like? Here, 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 d6. And he wins. So that is annoying. You know, obviously annoying when your opponent can win. So f5 again is probably his best move. I think he should be playing f5, and I can't allow his queen into e7, and unfortunately what I've done, I've made my knight a lot worse, and Bjorn's idea is excellent. I should have gone queen d4. Queen d4, I've allowed too much counterplay from Bjorn here. He's played very well though, so well done. Bjorn clearly higher than his rating, clearly higher. So, but again, what I really, let's imagine if I can get the queens off the board, I still think I'm favourite to win, because I should be able to, I say that, my knight's very hard to get in the game, but I might be able to get it out this way eventually. So if I can play a5, knight a6, how else can I get my knight out? I mean, it's not clear now whether my knight is better than his bishop. It's not totally clear. Okay, so what's Bjorn trying to do here? So whenever your opponent plays a move, try to work out what they're trying to do. And with that move, is he trying to play f5? Well, I always have this check, so I'm not sure what he's doing. Is he trying to come this way and come in like this, potentially? So we've got to stop our opponent's ideas. If he goes here, I can go here. Then he comes queen in here, yeah? So what about, this is a bit tricky again. I could play h5. Not sure about that move, not entirely sure, but then if f5 I have check and take here, but all my pawns are on light squares then. Let's try it. Let's try h5, because I don't want his queen coming here, because if he gets his queen behind my position, then I'm going to be worse. And maybe later on I can play h4 and try to get hold on the g3 square, you know, in a lot of circumstances. But I think what I should be doing now is centralizing my queen somehow. So maybe first of all bring the queen to a more centralized square, either here or here, and then try to improve my king. But saying that, I'm quite disappointed how badly I've played with my knight here, because now my knight is not looking any better than his bishop. Okay, so I will definitely centralize now with his check. So this is always the move. And did Bjorn miss that? Did he miss it? Look, oh, you can see from his face he missed it. I don't know if he plays poker, Bjorn, but I don't think it's that bad for him. Even though he missed this move, it might not be that bad, because in the ending, both my pawns are going to be on light squares over here, and he's going to have a light squared bishop, so he can attack them. So it might not be so bad. But saying that, I'm happy to get the queens off, as I said before. if I can get my king in and I can get my knight going. If I want to get my knight, for example, ideally to this square in the ending where it attacks this pawn, something like that. So I'm quite happy to get this check in at the moment. Now, I don't obviously have to take this pawn, but I think I should take it. It's a bit annoying that I have to take it and, you know, double my pawns like this. They don't look very nice, but on the plus side, this is a very strong plan. Get my king coming. And another thing you should do, especially in endings and things like this, more so in endings when the pawn structure becomes more important, is look at your opponent's pawn structure. So let's just take these queenside pawns. And what is the base of his pawn structure, the foundation? Well, the foundation is this pawn here, yeah? Because the other pawns are defended, but this pawn is the weak pawn. So that's my target I want to attack. Okay, so now he's found the best solution. And this is interesting now. So if I take here, he comes in with his king, and his king is very good. I could be worse. If I take here, he comes in here. If I go pawn takes, this is critical. Queen takes, and then he goes, for example, d6, and then I go knight here, and my knight can defend on this square. That looks like the best option to me. I say that very slowly because I've got it. This is quite a critical position. Critical positions, you need to take a bit more time. So pawn takes pawn, queen takes, pawn takes, d6, knight e6, bishop d7. Well, then I always have knight here. I don't think his d pawn's that scary because my knight has this square. I don't think so. So I think I can take this one. But his other idea, takes, might be to come here and here. But my e pawn is very strong as well. This pawn is very strong. So I think that this... Oh, let me get the right move. I've done that in a game. I've been calculating a long variation and I just moved the wrong piece. You know, I moved the piece that was maybe... you know, 5 moves deep rather than, you know, the first move. I got the move order wrong, like a complete and utter idiot. So I think I can take this one. I'm not going to be scared. And next move, I've got h4 even. And, well, I'll get my king in. King e7 is a move I really want to play. I could have played that last move. Maybe that was the safer option. But if you can take a pawn, you should take a pawn. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, if I can play here, I'm very happy. If he plays here, I'm going to go knight here. Quite an interesting ending. Yes, I'm a pawn up, but it depends how strong this one is. I mean, has he got a b4 move? It's still quite messy, this one. I mean, if he goes bishop d7, I can always push the pawn. You know, I'm not so worried about that. Or I can just give this pawn up maybe and start activating my king. You know, this is another idea. One thing I'd quite like to do, for example, bishop here, king here, bishop takes pawn, is maybe just then to go knight e8 and knight here. So he's gone here as predicted, and now this is the key position. Now, I don't know. I mean, I could have easily miscalculated this one. I'm hoping I've always got this square, which stops everything as much. I mean, b4 was a move which kind of worried me, but I think my pawn is going to be too strong. My pawn is too strong. So he's coming with this one. Now, what I was thinking of to try to fight against this, well, I can either move my king this way to defend against that, or I can try to create my own counterplay. So let's have a look. I'd rather go more aggressive. Here, king here, here, bishop f3. And then I can simply play knight d4 and push my pawn, and that pawn is coming. My knight does a good job of defending these squares, so I think this is the most proactive move. I always want to play the most active move if I can. So e4, and now if he goes here, I'm just going to push through. I mean, who was it who said past pawns should be pushed? I can't remember who it was, to be honest. It was someone, and it's quite simple advice. But but yeah, it's quite, you know, if you've got passed pawns, just push them, try to make them queens. There's no point defending too much. And another thing I didn't want to do, I didn't want to bring my king this way because I wanted to keep my king close to his one pawn. Because now if he ever pushes that pawn, I go king e7 and I stop it. My king can defend this pawn very well. Maybe his best thing is something like one of these two squares. Then I might play a5 to stop b4 and just see what he's doing. See what he's doing. I've also got knight d4 at the right moment, but I don't want to allow his king in here. My knight's a very good piece. So he's trying to bring his king this way. Sensible. Now, is this pawn ever scary? Because if it's not scary, I think it's not that scary. Because if it ever moves on, my king comes here. He can't do anything. So I think I should be even trying to just win another pawn, get greedy. Is that the, yeah, let's do this. Why not? Let's go here. If he goes d7, I can come with my king. Should be good. If he doesn't do anything, I might just grab another pawn. If he goes bishop a4, his bishop then doesn't defend this pawn anymore or attack that pawn. So I can even go f4. And then if he pushes, I check and use both my pawns. So he's got no threats. This one is a little bit scary. Little bit scary. Takes pawn here, b3. I think my pawns are too strong, so I'm going to play this one. And if he plays b4, I'm just going to take it and push my pawn. I think that's winning. If he goes g3, I'm going to check and push my pawns to these two squares. This stops his king coming in. If he doesn't do anything, I'll play a5. Okay, so he's gone here. This is what I think he was going to play it. But now I'm relying on my pawns being stronger than his. So do I give a check first? So here takes, I should have calculated this first, but there's not much time. Takes, knight takes c6, king e8, and I stop his pawn. c7, king here. So this to me looks winning. If he goes here, I'll go knight takes pawn. Oh no, he gets his bishop back round. I didn't see, but I have f5. Should be winning still. Okay, and I think my king will stop both of these pawns. I think I can just take this. This is one thing. If your king is close to your opponent's pawns, it should be able to take it, stop them. Here, here, king here. Let's just double check because I want to make sure. Takes pawn here, here, c7, king d7. Knight takes pawn here, king here, d7, king d8. This looks to be winning to me. And this king can come and stop them just in time. And again, you know, I could have miscalculated, of course, but c7 king here and d7 king here, for example, should be winning quite easily now. And of course, my knight can force one of these pawns to move. I can come knight here and just take this one. e3, look, wow, I think this is easily winning as well. So. Okay, so quite a tough game there, both of us. I mean, we'll get Bjorn back on in a second. He played very well there. I mean, for someone who's only rated 1800 at long play, he played a very good game. I thought it was a good game from Bjorn. So we'll get his thoughts, we'll analyze it on the computer, and we'll do a run through of the game. So let's see if Bjorn, if we can hear Bjorn now. Bjorn, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey man.
Hey, how you doing? Good game, good game. Your heart rate's gone. I'll get rid of the heart rate now, shall we? So
yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, okay. I saw your heart rate. It went up to 100 at one moment. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I've got rid of you.
That's not high enough. No.
Not high enough. No.
I use this Garmin. And that's how I get the heart rate to my phone and then to the screen. And I was playing on a local club at Thursday, and I had this winning chance against like a 2,100 player. Yeah. And I think I looked at my watch afterwards, and I was like 140.
140. Wow.
And then I blunder, and it goes like to 50 or something.
Oh wow. Okay. So you knew you were winning, obviously from your heart rate.
Yeah. I knew. Well, I didn't know how, obviously, but I knew it's like this is just crushing. But I couldn't find the couldn't find the moves.
Couldn't find the killer. So, what did you think of the game, Bjorn? I'm just going to set it up so we can have a very brief look, because I know we both got to go and crack on.
Yeah. Maybe you can share it on my screen so we don't have the delay.
Yeah, do. Oh, do you know what my accuracy? Okay, I'll let everyone guess my accuracy. Oh, I'm quite happy about this, Bjorn. Okay, and your accuracy is pretty damn good as well, Bjorn.
I'll tell you, I was really happy with how I played. I thought you
played very well. You played
a good game, but yeah,
you played very well, very well. I think everyone should give Bjorn a round of applause.
98%. Are you sure you're not cheating, Simon?
My accuracy, can you believe that? 98%.
I feel even better now.
Yeah, they don't call me a GM for nothing, Bjorn. So let's have a look. I'll put the accuracy. Let's have a look. Look at this. You had advantage start to finish. Wow. I mean, that's pretty. That's pretty. I never get that high, Bjorn. So I'm quite chuffed as well.
Especially for me. Well, thank you.
But you did well. You 90% is very high. Yeah.
I was really happy. But I ran out of ideas at one point. I felt like the position was okay. I definitely not losing for a long time, but
sure. Yeah. Well, let's have a look. We'll go through the game very quickly, and what we'd do is well, Bjorn played. I'd say very good. No, I played 2 inaccuracies. Let's have a look. So the opening, I knew you were going to do the Jabava London, so I tried to trick you into something you might not be so comfortable with. So
I have a couple of friends who plays this all the time, so I've looked at some of the variations there. So, but it's not what I usually play.
No, and we'll get to sort of middle game position, because all of this is pretty standard, I would say. We'll get to where it gets interesting. Bishop F4 gives you having quite a nice advantage. The computer, I don't fully agree with that, because it's just a normal position, and the computer always likes the side which has more space, and of course you have more space here. But Queen D2, Rook E8, I don't know, looked interesting, because I thought if Bishop H6, I'll go Bishop H8. I thought you might try the caveman attack, Bjorn. I thought you might go H4 and Bishop H6.
That was the plan. Well, I wanted to go Bishop H6 first, and then swap off the bishops, and then go H4. I mean, I could not go for that.
I mean, it was maybe a bit too. I mean, I think you played sensible moves there. I mean, Bishop E2 looks okay. And then this
Bishop
E6.
E2 was. I was thinking for a while about that, and it was kind of to avoid the problems with. I assumed you would play E6 there.
Sure.
And then it would be hard to take back with the E pawn.
Yes.
If I didn't put something in front of the king.
I think it looks very, very safe way to play. I mean, I expect after E6, this is all okay. I mean, I don't think you can take on D. Well, you can. I mean, one line here. Let's say you take here, and I play bishop. I mean, you can try this, but it looks very risky. Let's say you go bishop takes D6. I thought I was going to get loads of compensation here, which I'm sure the computer will agree. The computer gives this as equal, and I think move just like knight here. I was just going to play knight here, then queen A5.
Really hard to play,
yeah. This is too risky for you. Even if the computer thinks you're okay here, I think it's far too scary. Yeah. This idea. So knight F3, normal move. Okay, so takes, and now I'm not sure if I played the right moves here. It's quite good if we look at the actual colouring of the moves, Bjorn. There's no bad moves from either of us. Is that right? It's all like it was like nearly computer versus computer. No blunders. Yeah. So okay, well A6. A lot of people were wondering whether that was a good idea. I mean, I think it's a normal idea in these positions to give yourself an option of B5. It looks totally normal. And also, I want to stop knight here.
Yeah, exactly. I was annoyed when you played A6. That was kind of my major plans was kind of playing on that side, and I was a little bit scared of you playing B5 before I had time to castle and get safe. So
definitely, if you don't castle here, then I'll definitely play B5 because tactically you could end up in a lot of troubles there. If you play something like H3, then I'll definitely play B5. I'll be happy to sack this. And I'll get loads of play. And this is a typical kind of sacrifice here. So so castles, and now Bishop G4 is a normal idea. Because I want to get control of this.
I was wondering about this. Why? Okay, you want control of E5. How does that? Okay, so you can just take it off.
Yeah, well, the thing for me is, I know in these positions, the Benko, this bishop is normally black's worst piece. So the idea of taking here is one of the main ideas that black has in the opening. Often white plays h3, given a chance to stop this, because then where do I put this bishop? The bishop doesn't actually have... I mean, it can go to f5
really bad
sometimes.
then.
Yeah. But I mean, after I mean, I think this is all very normal. I mean, h3 looks fine, takes. But the one may have been a slight error on your part. And was okay. This is all pretty normal. Rook e1 normal. And now, you know, I played bishop f8. I didn't really want to. But now I think this is probably a key moment, Bjorn, because, you know, I think the one thing you're missing here is, you know, trying to think what my plan is. Because if I go bishop f8, it maybe should be, you know, reasonably clear that I don't really have any active moves in this position. And I think for your next move, which offers a number of exchanges, that only helps me, because when you have more space, and you have more space because of the pawn on d5, you don't want to exchange pieces off the board. So, I mean, I'm not to be. You should always ask yourself, what is your opponent's next move? What is my opponent going to play next? And I'm not really sure what my next move is here, Bjorn. I mean, I think Aldo suggests it's the knight e5 move.
I was going to ask you about that move, because I assumed that was your plan. And I was actually thinking about taking back with the rook.
Take him to rook. Wow. Okay.
Because because then if you take, I wanted to play d6. Does that work
in this position, or
no? Next one. Oh, maybe it was.
If I play knight e5.
No, this position. Yeah.
So take the rook. I mean, I thought you just go bishop takes and d6. This is what I was worried about. Simple, but you wanted to take, and play here, yeah.
Yep.
And then if I play queen d7, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is so it's not it kind of works.
Yeah, it kind of
seems
works.
Like,
but what if you? I mean, if you've got a simple solution, why sacrifice? I mean, can you?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure if I was going to play it, but I remember when I got this idea, I looked at my heart rate, and it was like 100 because I saw the idea, and then you get really excited.
Any chance to sacrifice, you're like,
exactly, but like if I can get the first sack in it and it works, I would be really happy.
I mean, I was more worried about you taking it at some point. That's a nice cream van. They make this.
So maybe this is just good anyway.
I was really scared about this when your bishop and pawn was too strong. This is why bishop f8. But I mean, I think your only main mistake though, Bjorn, is like here. I'm not really sure what I'm doing next. I don't really like this knight e5 move. I think if you just take it, you're okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you should just look at trying to improve your position slowly. I mean, even a move like king h2, I would say is a better move. Just putting your king on maybe a better square. Because you're kind of asking me, okay, I understand that you don't really have much of a plan. I mean, knight e5 now I might be able to play, but I still don't.
Don't like it.
Well, maybe king h2 was where to put the king, but
in this position,
But I don't know. I mean, I just feel that this move, knight e4.
So what did I play?
You play knight e4.
Okay,
For once, the computer agrees with me, and because the thing is, after this, you know, because I'm more cramped, I can exchange off.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm also.
I was kind of thinking. Well, I didn't really see a plan. That's what I said at the beginning. At some point in these positions against good players like you, I ran out of ideas. I was thinking, okay, so I mean, I saw this position and I thought, well, I have bishop pair, and some people say that's good. And I mean, this position can't be bad for me, at least.
Yeah, it's funny because I know a lot of people, like, you know, they always go about the bishop pair. I think that statement's so overrated. I mean, you know, people going, "Oh, I've got the bishop pair," but I mean, I'm not even sure how to use the bishop pair always. I mean,
exactly.
And people go, "Oh, it's the bishop pair. It's amazing." Why?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I think people just get stigmatized into thinking, but they don't. You know, because in this position, actually, you know, this bishop is such a bad piece. I mean, you did really well later on, but I was.
It's like when you don't have any plans, you kind of try to go through your head like, what? Okay, so what do they say? They say improve your pieces. They say get space. They say get the bishop pair.
Yeah.
But maybe I should just forget about that last.
Forget about them all. I mean, if you could improve your pick, I mean, maybe the thing though, I think the critical thing is basically, you know, in a position like this, is not to force the issue, because when you start to try to force the issue, my position greatly improves. I think in this position, you've got to realise that okay, you've got to really get into your opponent's mind. You've got to realise, okay, well, black's just gone bishop f8. I don't think knight e5's a threat. So bishop f8 is kind of indicating to me that my opponent is not doing anything. So I don't have to rush. So, I mean, even I think the computer gives g4. Maybe even a move like this is not so bad. Just gain some space on this area of the board. Maybe start pushing over here. I would even think, you know, something. Yeah, I mean, there's you know, maybe even b3 helps you a little bit. But I think, you know, because the way it goes, when you try to force the issue in the game, it seemed to me that suddenly after bishop g7, I thought, well, I mean, the computer gives this as equal. But I would say black has the slightly better chances here because... I mean, okay, the computer gives bishop e5 as an inaccuracy. And,
yeah, I was wondering about that. But...
Well, I think it's actually a good move, and I don't think the computer understands that I want to exchange these bishops off to leave you with a bad piece. So I don't know, because the point here was, you know, your bishop is just so bad.
Right.
But you play. I mean, okay, so I mean, because you know you got your pawns on the same kind of square as his bishop. It's quite like a recent YouTube video I did, and the bishop has no potential, but my knight does have potential. You know, if I can get every piece off, I could be a very bad ending for you with your pawns like this and your bishop. Even though you've got the bishop, okay, if you get it to c8 like you did, it's okay, but I should be able to stop that with f5. I mean, let's have a look. Okay, so bishop f3, queen d8. Yeah, maybe this. I like the computer suggestion here. I actually made a mistake. I gave you the opportunity of allowing your bishop to come this way, and the computer gives a very good prophylactic move.
Right.
And I should have played h5. Yeah, right, this would have been a very good move just to kill this bishop.
Yeah, because now the bishop is really bad.
It's really bad. It can never get in. So my queen d8 was a little bit premature, and now you played very well here. Bishop d1. And okay, queen h4, as Aldo suggested, was actually better, and f4 the best.
At this point, I felt like you were kind of going backwards, but I
was quite happy here. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I didn't mind moving my knight back because I thought maybe it could come this way. I mean, the thing is, what I was a bit annoyed about here was, I think I should have probably played this move. It says it's an inaccuracy. Let's have a look. Computer says this is inaccuracy and deadly equal, but there's a clever idea you have here. So, because what I want to do, Bjorn, here is go a5 and knight c5, and if I can play this, I'm doing well.
Oh, okay.
But you can actually, I was only looking at b4 and then b6, but you can go a5. This is very clever.
And then stop the idea.
Yeah.
And then the king can pick up the pawn.
Probably can come and pick the pawn up because I can't stabilize my knight on this square on c5.
All right.
Okay, so queen d4 is not right. Okay, but okay, yeah, maybe it's not as good for me as I thought. So let's have a look. So you play bishop g4, very good move. And now, after you played this, yeah, I'm not sure I'm better now. And if we go, I thought I was better, but maybe I'm not at all. It says it's still equal. Let's have a look. I thought maybe you could play f5. I don't know. This is what I was most worried about. F5.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about that as well.
And the computer gives it as 0.00.
Wow.
This is just quite funny, you know.
That's not my evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So okay, but I mean, this looked quite dangerous as your pawn and queen are sort of coming into my position.
Yeah.
So this was quite scary for me. I didn't like the look of this. I thought, all of a sudden your bishop's doing a good job of holding my knight. My queen is offside. So when you pieces on the other side of the board, you can come for the other side and. Yeah, this looked quite scary, so I think you played...
And I played bishop c6 instead?
You played bishop c6, and this gave me a bit more of an opportunity to get my queen to a better defensive diagonal.
Yeah,
because when
that was quite annoying.
When you played f5 now, this check...
I didn't see that check for some
I could see by your facial reactions.
Yeah,
that
I was like, oh,
shit.
Bit of
a shocker. Yeah.
Attack over.
And I don't know. I think the ending's probably quite bad. Let's have a look.
So that's the worst defense I could have gone for, I guess.
Yeah, the computer actually says you could do something else, but again, let's see if the computer's right. The computer says you can go king g1. But what if I play? Can I play queen takes here, or is this is what I wanted to play? Okay, and the computer now gives. This is better for you if you take it and play king.
Really?
Yeah, it's just...
Okay, because it's hard to defend this.
Let's have a look. King here, king here. king here.
Yeah.
And it says you're quite a lot better, it says. Surprising.
Because you can play bishop d7 and you should be able to get the pawn back.
What if I play a5 with the idea of trying to get my knight into d4 and taking this pawn? It says a5 is best. I'm just intrigued to see if we continue, because I would have thought black's better here, but the computer says white's better. So I just want to see if we continue with the computer's analysis, if it will change its mind. Let's just have a look. So h4. Oh, it says h4 is
no. Yeah,
that's weird.
Play bishop d7.
Okay, bishop d7. And now I'll go knight here.
And then takes.
Yeah.
And takes then back to c2.
And now here.
Oh, not c2 now, obviously.
Oh, now it says you're completely winning here.
Okay.
Oh, this is a very clever move. Look at this move, bishop b1, Bjorn. That is a nice move, controlling my knight, yeah?
You're almost in Sipswang.
I think it's just, I still don't think it's that bad for me, even though it says you're winning. Let's just say I go back. I can't. How can I be losing this? I don't understand. Because...
g4, maybe?
Yeah, g4. And what will you take with if I take it?
I was thinking king, but...
Yeah, I think king takes is alright.
I mean, I was thinking pawn, but now that you're asking,
king takes
are much more dangerous.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Huh. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I misassessed that as well. And in the game, I think it really is quite bad for you because your d pawn is just not that scary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I think
this is kind of more. Yeah. I realize this is losing, but
this is
just trying to check if I've miscalculated something.
Trying to get some moves in. So
yeah.
Well, good game, Bjorn. I mean, you played well. Yeah, it's a very tough game. I mean, you played much higher rating than your rated your rating. So yeah, so good game.
Thanks. Yeah, good game. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So Bjorn, I'll let you go in a second. Is there anything you want to like say to people watching before we finish this up?
Just hi to everyone I know and everybody I don't know. So hi to everyone, I guess, and bye.
And maybe you should also mention you're starting to do a bit of work for GingerGM as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. We're developing a app.
Yeah.
So it's coming along very nicely. And, hopefully this should be done sometime this year. And should be really cool.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it'd be good. So we're excited about that. And are you going to come to the crypt event if we do it?
That's a silly question.
Yeah, if you don't come, it'll be horrendous. You got
obviously
you got to come. You got to come.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course I'll be there.
Yeah, good man, good. Okay, Bjorn, I'll let you go because I know you've got work to do. And thank you for joining the stream. Everyone say thank you to Bjorn, who took a nice bit of time out of his day to come and help us out here. So cheers Bjorn, and I'll see you soon, yeah? So
see you. Bye.
Okay,
thanks.
Bye. Okay, well it's great to have Bjorn join us on the stream. I mean, I think it's nice when we do streams and we do different things. I mean, I know a lot of streamers they just play blitz all the time and stuff, but it's surely nice to mix it up a little bit. And Bjorn played exceptionally well there, considering his rating. Very tough player. I think he's got potential actually, Bjorn. You can sometimes tell certain players they have a great deal of potential. I think Bjorn's got potential to be FM, IM if he really tried hard. He's a very good player. So well done, Bjorn. Okay, so I'd like to just I'm going to finish the stream now because I've got to get back to doing some work. Before I do, let's just catch up on the chat. So I'd like to say hello to Gormali Fan Club. Thank you to saying it's good to see me back streaming. It's nice to be back. We have YayBjorn in the chat, putting tears in my eyes now, Simon. Well, it's true, Bjorn. I'm just being honest. I'm not lying. I thought you're a very good player. Jobius, always a pleasure to have you here. Andy is Yoda. Hello there. I think Andy is Yoda is a very famous Minecraft streamer, so go and check him out. When's the Gingerbeard and Naughty Y fronts coming to the shop? well, you know, you can. I might put mine up for sale for £100 if anyone buys them. They're just weird. Plocrux, hello to you, and Beam Up Scotty, good to see you. I'm scrolling up now. Xander Diesel, thank you. Aldo, of course, thank you. Jerry from Bunratty, thank you. Grand Knight saying good morning, Simon. Not quite morning over here, but I guess it is in America. Thank you for the kind words. Good night. About the French defence. And James Canty is also a great streamer as well. And Tres Tar Rossa, he says he had a big case of chest burner. We'll have a break. You know, we should all have a break, and I hope you're back now. So yes. Mickey Grove, yeah. Well, you know, Mikey. What else to call you? Hello, Mikey. I hope you're doing all right, man. And Mikey is basically, yeah. I mean, what you got to do, you know, with your, you know, I wouldn't say Bjorn's an employee of me, because he's not. You know, he's creating his own app, doing something I can't do. So he's definitely not an employee. He's like, you know, the opposite. He works himself, but. You know, when you work with people, you got to be as nice to them as possible. You know, so they do a good job. Is that right? Is it? No, I love Bjorn. He's a great guy anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm actually do a bit more work here. Our next DVD is probably going to be Grandmaster Gambits. We're also, I'm hoping at 3 o'clock, so an hour's time, I'm going to have Fiona and do a bit of work with Fiona, because she's done a course which I think will be very useful. We want to finish that course off today. And also we got David Howe's course coming out. So we've got a lot to do, a lot of work going on here, and I'm going to get back and get that all done. The Chessable course is coming out, I think, in about 3 or 4 days. So I'll let you know more about that when it's actually released. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. So much work has gone into that. So I hope you go and buy that course from Chessable. It's one of the best things I've done, and I really mean that. Put so much work into it. Aldo, yeah, I will find Luke Mashane's email for you now. Good, thanks for reminding me. Okay, so cheers everyone, have a great rest of the day. It's boiling here in England, absolutely sweating, but trying to get a bit more stuff done. So see you all later, goodbye for now.